Hey guys, let's talk about plant prices. One of the most controversial topics in the plant community, and for a really long time now, and even more so amplified now by Kaylee Ellen releasing her several-part documentary about the evolution and growth of the RarePlantShop, as well as releasing the prices of the plants that are going to be launched on her website on the 24th of October. She received a lot of negative backlash regarding her prices. They are steep. Those plants are not cheap. They're expensive plants, and she doesn't deny that. And while everyone is entitled to their own opinions and can be outraged at these prices, and can even express their opinion about the high prices of these plants on the internet, a whole nother thing is then going after this one person, this small business owner, and harassing her and calling her names and just being an asshole. Throwing insults at her and just blaming her for the whole industry and the prices of plants on the planet. So let's jump into a quick, simple economics lesson. Supply and demand. Here is a simple graph of how supply and demand works and how prices are set in the market. It shows how many people are willing to buy a certain product at different price points. And it also shows on that same graph the amount of products that suppliers are willing to provide at certain price points. In the cross-section of this graph, you have an equilibrium price, is which a price that consumers and producers agree on is acceptable, and the producers will produce at that price and consumers will consume at that price. Rare plants means that there are not many of them normally. They are hard to grow, hard to come by, so there is a low supply. Demand, on the other hand, is extremely high, and there are way more people wanting these plants than exist on the planet. So what happens? Prices rise to what people are available to pay, and essentially goes to the highest bidder. Plant prices rise because there is excess demand and a shortage of supply. As I mentioned in my Instagram post a couple of days ago, businesses like the RarePlantShop don't just magically pull these plants out of their asses and slap on a high price tag for no reason. Businesses operate to earn money. Inventory, the plants, the shop, storage, the website, the operations, the labor, it all costs money. And it is not a hobby for them, it is their job. You wouldn't go to your job and do hours of work for no pay. So why can't these shops just lower their prices? Well, first of all, their majority of the time are not the ones that grow these plants. They kind of control the market. Most shops are resellers who obtain their plants from larger nurseries in wholesale prices, and these nurseries do not sell to the general public and the average consumer. So they pass on these plants to other businesses to sell them on. So let's say a business buys from a nursery a plant that costs $20. You are not going to sell that plant onwards for $20. You're first of all not making money on this plant. So instead of selling that plant for $20 to all the regular consumers, they would sell it for, let's say, $30 or $40 and make a profit. There's a profit margin, and that profit pays for your work and your part in releasing these products to the general public. Also, the prices I mentioned are just examples. I'm in no way an expert about plant prices, and especially not those of wholesale nurseries. I'm not a business myself, so I don't have access to these plants either, and I don't know exactly what they cost. That's just a disclaimer. It's just an example of basic economics and business practice. So prices of things where demand is high and supply is low, like rare plants for example, will climb because they can. And plants are not the only thing where this happens, by the way. So why don't these sellers or nurseries just grow more of the plant? Well, these plants are rare because they're either hard to obtain, hard to grow, hard to propagate, grow slowly. For the many different reasons, they are just rare, and that's the whole point. And supply is trying to catch up to demand. A lot of these rare plants are a lot more available than they were before. But the thing is, just because supply is growing doesn't mean demand is the same. Houseplant demand has increased rapidly over the last however couple years, and especially exponentially since like March, when everyone decided they need houseplants because everyone is locked inside. So while originally this may have been the demand and this is the supply, and the supply is slowly growing, and it may have caught up to the original demand, demand has skyrocketed. Demand is like through the ceiling, okay? So if anything, these plants are still even more rare. And suppliers are trying to grow these plants more because they see that people want them, and also trying things like tissue culture, for example, but it's just not available at the rate that demand is climbing. So if the supply side can't change the prices, or won't change the prices, will they ever go down? Well, probably yeah, but at this rate, for the foreseeable future, they're just going to go climb. Why? Well, because there are still people who are willing to buy these plants at those prices, at these astronomical prices. And as long as there are people who are willing to pay that price tag, the price will continue to rise until it's no longer acceptable for enough people, where the businesses just don't make enough money. So then the prices will be pushed down to a level where people are willing to buy them again. Rare plants are not essential goods. You may want to own one, but either can't afford it or think the price is just not worth it. Well, how about this? Don't buy it. Like, it's just as simple as that. I compared this to a large TV. You may want a top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art, flat-screen TV for your living room, but the price tag is probably something that you either can't afford, or you just think that you would spend that money better somewhere else, and that TV is not worth that money. What are you gonna do? You're just not going to buy it. And that's it, because it's not an essential good and you don't need it. And while you may really, really want it and think that this price is unfair, it's just how it is. I don't see many people going and bitching about like why TVs are thousands of euros, or going after like resellers of TVs, of supermarkets, asking them,
why is this TV 10,000 euros? This is your fault. You are single-handedly perpetuating the high prices of TVs, local supermarket.
Like it's just ridiculous. And that's how ridiculous going after Kaylee Ellen, for example, is. She has to make a living as well. And if the prices get too high for the market, people will stop buying the plants. And then the prices will go down again. Yes, it might not be fair, but that's just how our economy works. This is not exclusive to plants. When there aren't enough of something that more people want, it kind of just goes to the highest bidder at the end of the day. You can think of the economy and prices as like a long-term automatic auction. If there is one product and there's 10 people who want that product, and one person says, I will pay $1,000 for that, you might think, oh my god, I would never pay $1,000 for that. I'm not gonna buy it. That is ridiculous. It's not worth it to you. But that person who is still willing to buy that at $1,000 is gonna get it for $1,000 because the person selling it is doing it for money. Even if it may not be the one single driver and they may not be greedy businessmen, they still need to make money to make a living. So they're gonna sell it to whoever wants to buy it for the highest price. If you want prices to go down, stop buying at higher prices. And when enough people stop buying at higher prices, the prices will come down, and that is just a natural evolution of prices of products. That's it. Stop harassing small business owners due to something that they can virtually have no control over. Prices will not become cheaper if you go call someone a bitch. Like, this whole thing is so stupid, and I don't understand people who are bitching about this. And especially when it evolves from just bitching about like, oh my god, plants are so expensive, to, oh my god, this business owner is a bitch because she sells rare things at high prices. You don't need to be an asshole just because you cannot afford a rare collectible item. That's what these rare plants are. And I'm probably gonna get copyright striked for that. I think that was worth it. Help me reach my monetization requirements, guys. Like this video. I appreciate if you're still watching this. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this whole situation? About plant prices, about the RarePlantShop and Kaylee Ellen, just any thoughts you have, leave them in the comments down below. I would love to have a conversation with some of you. And remember to subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell and set your notifications to all and watch my future videos, and I really appreciate that. So one day maybe this can be my job, just talking about how people are dumb and have no common sense when it comes to simple things like this. So yeah, don't be assholes, guys. That's it. Just don't be dicks. Thanks for watching, guys. That's it. That's the video.